This series considers a number of important issues in bridge resource management. Part 1 of the Bridge Procedure series discusses passage or voyage planning and illustrates the use of charts. This video deals with navigational charts and associated publications. Charts are vital both to passage or voyage planning, as well as for navigation. A chart is the prime aid for situational awareness. Even the most efficient bridge team cannot function effectively without an up-to-date, accurate chart. But, however good the chart, it starts to become out of date as soon as it's printed, because the environment changes all the time. The commonest changes are man-made, such as lights, buoys, and new obstructions. These are often in coastal waters, where sudden surprises most endanger the ship and increase the workload and stress on the bridge team. The nautical press regularly features reports of ships which have hit problems related to charts. Either no charts, the wrong charts, unofficial charts, or charts not kept up to date. To take one example, while waiting for a berth at Teesside, the master of the motor tanker Marion decided to anchor. The charts had not been corrected, and the ship put the anchor down on a new pipeline, severely damaging it. The ship's owners were successfully sued by the pipeline owners for $25 million. The changes to the UK Admiralty charts are contained in the weekly Notices to Mariners. Hydrographic offices in other parts of the world will have their own methods of updating chart information. Most changes are notified by port and coastal authorities and surveys, but mariners can also register changes that they have observed.
Radio navigation warnings, good afternoon. Yeah. The dangerous wreck, yeah. Trinity House informed. Voyage to be laid. No pollution evident. Search and rescue being coordinated by MRCC Dover. Right, MRCC Dover, thank you very much.
Ships can call the radio watch at the United Kingdom Hydrographic Office directly. This is manned 24 hours a day, every day of the year. The navigation warning officer judges whether the report represents an immediate hazard to navigation. If it is, a Navtex warning is sent out. If not, the information becomes part of the database of the Hydrographic Office. This database is used in making new editions of existing charts. It is also the basis for making new charts. When a new chart is required, all the available survey information is assembled. This can include hydrographic surveys from 100 years ago and satellite photography from yesterday. It is all adjusted to the same scale and compared and contrasted. Then it is sifted, selected and combined into a workable chart with the right amount of information for safe navigation. New surveys are referenced to WGS 84, World Geodetic System 1984, the reference datum for GPS. New editions and new charts may also be referenced to WGS 84. Many older charts are not suitable for plotting GPS positions because it's not possible to compare the chart datum with the GPS datum. A chart can only be as accurate as the survey information that is used to compile it. A depth is marked on the chart because a survey said that was the depth. But only in a very few areas has every metre of the seabed been surveyed. Beware of what may lie between soundings. The QE2 grounded off Martha's Vineyard in 1992. The official report found that a contributory factor was that the actual depth of the rocks was significantly shallower than the depth marked on the chart. The chart was based on a 1939 survey, which was not up to today's standards. There were no survey dates on the charts, and the official report considered that the master was deceived by their appearance and placed undue reliance on them. The cruise had to be abandoned, and the vessel had to proceed to dry dock. The cost can probably be counted in millions of dollars. Improving and keeping charts up to date is an essential task. Once an alteration has been confirmed, it's included in the notice to mariners, and a tracing for a chart correction may be drawn up. It's important that the tracing is precise. To verify this, a correction is made using the tracing. This is compared to a correction done using only the notices to mariners. The tracing is checked and redrawn if necessary. All the charts held at the United Kingdom Hydrographic Office are then brought up to date. They include all the corrections right up to the date of purchase. These methods, using templates and special stamps and blocks, are only suitable for correcting large numbers of charts. But the care and attention to detail and the precision required are equally important whether you have to correct one chart or several hundred. Good ship handling counts for nothing if your charts are inaccurate or out of date. Accurate correcting is the crucial last link in the chain of good chart making. As well as being essential for safe navigation, the ship's folio of charts may be worth a lot of money in its own right. Changes need to be done correctly. Never use correcting fluid when correcting charts. A badly corrected chart can be worse than an uncorrected chart. This red is the wrong colour and will make the chart difficult to read at night and may well fade in time. This correction is simply not clear. And this correction is in the wrong place. It can be false economy to buy second-hand charts, as there is no guarantee that they've been accurately updated. A badly corrected chart can also cause the ship to fail an inspection.
Captain, that means that your charts are not corrected since early this year.
Not having up-to-date charts can mean an automatic detention under port state control.
Yeah, we've been requiring for
and failing an inspection can be very costly for the ship.
Your request, you know. Your request that you have not received.
Correcting charts takes time and concentration. It's not possible to keep a lookout while correcting charts. The approach is the same for all corrections, whether they are permanent, temporary or preliminary, and whether you have tracings, the notices to mariners, or a change received from Navtex. Take out each portfolio of charts and identify those which need corrections. Then, if the time available is limited, prioritize them. Start with those needed for the current voyage, then those for the upcoming voyage, and finally the remainder. Next, the drawing instruments. You will need 2 pens, a 0.15mm to put in information and a 0.25mm to delete. Ink. The correct colour is violet. It can be seen in all lights and it's clear where the correction has been made. Pencils. HB for keeping the chart correction list up to date, and a 7H for pinpointing positions on the chart, although a pair of compasses is frequently used for this purpose. Adhesive for sticking block corrections in place. It must not distort the chart or block and must be permanent. A parallel rule. Either the roller or the stepping type are equally suitable. Dividers for more accurate positioning. A pair of compasses with a pen attachment for drawing circles. Other useful tools include a soft eraser, a straight edge, a hacksaw blade for drawing cables, and a template for drawing symbols. Always start from the correction as detailed in the notices to mariners, even if you have tracings. Tracings do save time and help accuracy, but they're only an aid. Check that the previous correction has been done and that the chart is up to date. Read the notice carefully before starting. Work out the clearest way the correction could be put on the chart. Using tracings means that the position of the correction is found quickly. Line up the tracing accurately using the reference points given on the tracing. In this case, the position of the wreck is the most important element. The correction must never be copied down as it appears on the tracing. Stand comfortably. Don't stretch when actually making the correction. Only after you've completed all the corrections on a chart should you add to the correction list at the bottom left-hand corner. Always ensure that the correction numbers are well separated. The ship's correction list must be updated at the same time. The second correction we're going to look at is a change of a light. Always understand and plan the correction before you begin. Always put in the new information before deleting the old. Rather than trying to change numbers, it's often clearer to write the new numbers out and delete the old. Or it may be possible to use the old information using arrows to change its position. Analyze what would be clearest for navigation. Remember, all positions must be accurate. Depths and symbols must be clear, and all legends must be readable. When all the corrections on a chart are done, record that on the chart and in the ship's list of chart corrections, so that the master, the relief officers, and any inspectors can easily check for themselves that the charts are up to date. Block corrections are perhaps the easiest to do, but they need to be positioned accurately. First, carefully cut off the black line around the edge. Then place the block in position. If you find yourself putting one block on top of another, double-check that the chart is the latest reprint. Other sources of information vital to passage planning also need to be corrected. These include lights, fog signals, and radio signals. The notices to mariners include these changes, as well as reprints of the navigational warnings given out by radio. It's worth checking through these to ensure that you are aware of those that will affect your ship's trading area. Keeping lists of lights, fog signals, and radio signals up to date is very important. As with the charts, accuracy and clarity are vital. Although the basic elements of navigation have not changed with time, new technology does bring continual improvement to the equipment available on the bridge. Until recently, these improvements have been incremental. Satellite photography for better charts. ARPA and digitized radar for collision avoidance. GPS for position fixing. Today, the technology on the bridge is on the threshold of a new era, when many advances will be combined into the integrated bridge. This can incorporate a display that includes the chart, the passage plan, the ARPA, and the GPS information. Some systems, raster systems, are based on a photographic image of the chart that cannot be adapted. Others, vector systems, work with a fully digitized chart. The information displayed can be altered to suit the officer or passage. There are a number of these systems in development and early use. In time, it seems likely that they will come to replace the traditional chart on many ships. The advantages are that these systems make the position of the ship very easy for everyone to visualize. They offer an improved situational awareness for the bridge team. This is especially valuable in harbor approaches and in traffic situations with fast currents. Light sectors change as the bearing of the ship changes. The outline of the ship is to scale. Often other data, such as light lists or radio signals, can be displayed in a window. This is handy when passage planning. The display can be adapted to the ship's or the individual officer's needs, displaying more or less data as required. Often, the informational display is recorded and can be replayed later, a useful training aid. This recording may come to replace all or part of the traditional log. But, however good they are only an aid to navigation. Over-reliance on electronic aids can cause accidents. Traditional navigational skills and proper training remain vitally important. And the new systems still need to be updated. Today, this is usually done from a CD-ROM, but eventually it may be done by a satellite link-up. These systems do require training and adaptation by an officer. They do not change the basics of safe navigation and the balance the officer of the watch has to strike between the window, the radar, and the chart. But they do offer a new and effective tool to help the navigator. Whether digital or paper, accurate and up-to-date charts and navigational information are vital to every ship. That means correcting the chart and associated publications regularly in the right way. Remember that the chart is only as accurate as the surveys used to compile it and the corrections made by previous officers. Knowing where you are, where you are going and the hazards of your surroundings is the objective of safe navigation. An accurate and up-to-date chart is the essential basis for this.